Hi, I'm so happy to be with you again. It's amazing. It's the beginning of another week, and we thank God for health, for strength, for love, for laughter, for excitement, for alcohol, and for sugar. We thank God for everything. I'm really happy. Today, I want us to talk about finding your voice. If anybody tells you that we are not emotional beings, they're lying. And I know I recall I have told employees of mine in the past that leave your stresses at the gate before you enter and all of that. If you want to follow your dreams, if you want to follow your talent, if you want to find your role in the bigger scheme of things, in this chaos that we live in, you have to find your voice. You have to find yourself so that you can push through, because without finding your voice, you would allow the obstacles, both external and within, to stop you from moving forward, to stop you from getting where you need to get to. Our emotions guide us. Our emotions, if you are hurt, usually if you're an artist and you're hurt, you see that when somebody is hurt the most is when they produce some of the, even though it might be slightly dark, it's some of the deepest forms of art that we appreciate. So when we embrace our emotions, they guide us to do what we need to do, even in a better fashion. Unless what you need to do is supposed to be maybe work in Disney, where you have to make people happy and you have to be smiling and laughing all the time. Sometimes the hurt pushes us to do what needs to be done. When you're strategizing, especially and I'm not talking about strategizing on a small topic or on a project, I'm talking about strategizing your life. In those couple of days or weeks, sometimes you need a somber moment. You need to put frivolities aside. You need to put craziness aside and just zoom in so you can focus, so that you can pull from the source of your pain to get what you need to do. That is when passion comes to play a lot, because in your pain, sometimes it gives you clarity. It gives you are able to see what your desire is, what your worth is. If you don't embrace the pain and you gloss over it, then you tend to run away from what you're supposed to be or do. Let me give an example. For instance, we're in a relationship, and you know that you're being emotionally abused, and yet you don't want to feel it. Sometimes we gloss over it, even when it's right in our faces. We tend to pretend that it doesn't exist. We tend to, sometimes we don't. I think we know psychologically when we are being emotionally abused, but because it's not physical and the world can't see it, we are able to hide it better from everybody else. And the worst part is we're able to hide it from ourselves. And those hurts can be the worst kind of hurt. Now, those kinds of hurts can motivate you. They should be able to push you to push through whatever is stopping you from achieving your goals. Because like we said, a job is not the end of everything, unless for you that works. There's some people that are supposed to have jobs. Brilliant. And we will learn about how to make sure that you keep that job, how to make sure that you're able to go and have the uncomfortable conversations around promotions and disputes management and all of that. On the other hand, living your dreams and your talents is amazing, because it makes you live a life that you don't feel like you're even working. I got to the office this morning around 6 a.m. and most people would be sleeping by now. But because I'm excited about doing this, I can't even sleep. I think we've discussed that already. I can't even sleep. I can't wait. I couldn't wait. I had to come and make up. Yes, I love my makeup. I did it myself. I always do my makeup myself. And all of that. So the hurt should move you, should push you, should motivate you to move past it, so that you can do what you need to do to either get yourself away from that situation, or to get yourself to do things that would, would not allow that to push you down. Joy is a big motivating factor, but sometimes we use joy negatively. When we are happy, that's when it's supposed to push you to go and do whatever you need to do. Because when you're happy and you go to people for help, somehow automatically they help you. Happiness is infectious. So people like to be around happy people. Use your network around that time. Use your joy to do what you need to do. Use Use that thing that is, people don't understand why this person is. I used to work with this lady. Yes, naturally she was beautiful already, but she was always happy. Like she was the happiest human being. So I used to tease her about her joy. She radiates so much joy that I constantly wanted her in my office. You know, happiness is infectious. Use that happiness to your advantage. Use that joy to your advantage, just as you use the pain to your advantage. And then fear. Fear is weird. Fear can cause us to do the weirdest things, but at the same time, fear can make us creative as well. When you're afraid of something, and a lot of the time when it's hard for you to push it out of your mind, then use it to your advantage then. I am usually afraid of the dark. I don't know, I haven't figured out how to work against it unless keeping the lights on in the bathroom or something, but I hate being in the dark, like especially when it's pitch dark. I can't stand it, I can't handle it out. I'll do anything to have some light around me. So sometimes our fears drive us to become innovative about ways to prevent what is causing us the fear. So use your emotions. We are emotional beings. Use your emotions. Speak your truth. You know, when you are in an environment, usually today we are finding our voice. So that's what I'm saying. Embrace your emotions. It's part of finding your voice. Finding your voice, not necessarily literally your voice as in vocal voice. Finding your voice is finding your truth, living within your faith, what you believe in, and finding your unique being and letting the world accept you for it, whether they like it or not. Because without that, God made you unique and gave you unique gifts for a reason. You're supposed to be in a certain place in the puzzle. So if you haven't found that place yet, or when you finally find it and the obstacles are trying to stop you, it's that strength that you can find to keep going, even when the naysayers are saying whatever they want to say, and when and sometimes the naysayers are even coming from a good place. But all of that, when you have your voice of conviction that this is my path, this is my calling, you will not allow anything to hold you back. So that's why it's critical that we embrace everything about ourselves. Now, the obstacles I mentioned, there are two main obstacles that you would realize. There may be a lot more. I'm talking about all of what I have gone through and from experience and from learning and all of that. The two main obstacles that you would go through when you have found your voice or when you have found your calling and you want to pursue it. One is external and the other is internal. The external ones, I think we can deal with them. Those are the naysayers and all of the other crap, the external noise and all of that. But what we are going to focus on today is the internal one. That is the most lethal. It's your internal resistance to change, your internal things like bad habits, your staying in the comfort zone, being used to a certain way of things and not wanting to change and all of that. Those kinds of resistance, those kinds of obstacles are hard to fight, but that is when you need to push yourself the most so that you find the conviction within you for why you need to do what you need to do. You need to be able to find two main things to counter your internal resistance, the things that cause you to find it difficult to push through when we become so comfortable, comfort is very, very cushiony and silky, and the money is nice, the salary is coming, you're meeting amazing people, you're going to all these prestigious events and all of that. They can be exciting. But then you go through it for 30, 40 years, and then you come out 65, 60, and you realize, I have always been a singer. What happened? Why didn't I dare to sing? Why didn't I, So the comfort zone is amazing, but it's one of the biggest resistance that we have. How do you push through that? You have to work through your pain. You have to work through the discomfort. It's like when you're exercising, when you have to exercise I don't know if you've noticed, I'm losing a lot of weight and I love it because I'm continuing my jogs. The stomach is coming down. But what I'm explaining is that if you don't push through the physical and the emotional pain, you can't get to the place where you want to get to. It's pushing through the discomfort of staying away from the comfort zone that makes you successful. And when you start pushing through, the other thing that holds you up, that sustains you, is persistence. I think we've talked about it. Consistency, persistence, keeping the focus, keeping the goalpost in your mind's eye and all of that. It's persistence that sustains the process. Persistence enables you to, although it seems so hard, although waking up is hard, although the jog is hard, although you feel like puking, although like all of the things that are so painful, if you continue it, no matter what, even if you give it, sometimes you can, take a rest a little bit, but don't forget to get back on the horse. Don't forget to get back and keep at it. If you do not do that, then you would give up before you get to the results, the good results. Some of the resistance is not so bad though. Some of the resistance helps us build our stamina. Some of the resistance helps, you see, when ants are in a line, when they've come to stealing the little sweet thing that they are running away with, and you put something in front of them, you notice they find a way around the thing. Sometimes they walk around the thing you've put in front of them. Other times they walk over it. What you would notice is that when they do the first, whatever strategy they choose to overcome the first obstacle you put in their way, when you put another roadblock ahead, you would realize they would repeat the exact same strategy they use to maneuver the first obstacle. The same thing applies to us. When you have a roadblock in your life, what happens when you successfully maneuver it is that it's giving you experience, it's giving you the strength, and it's giving you confidence in yourself, so that when other roadblocks, a lot of them will come. I promise you, when you want to do your own thing, you'll be amazed at how many roadblocks come your way. But at the same time, you'll be amazed at the successes. So when you surmount the first roadblock, it builds your self-confidence, and it gives you the strength to carry on and go through other resistances that you might meet along the way. So persistence is key. Self-discipline, discipline of your mind, self-leadership is really, really critical for you to push through, for you to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. Sometimes, when you're confronted and you feel choked, you freeze in the moment. A lot of the time is because, one, you were probably taken by surprise. Two, our brain just goes blank, and and all of that. It's because a lot of the time we have done that so many times that immediately the thing comes, our shields go up, our self-defense goes up. Sometimes we unconsciously move that same reaction into business or into when we are chasing our dreams. Immediately there's a stumbling block, or there's something hard comes up to block you, then we freeze and we can't help ourselves, we can't move forward. What I need you to do is that when these things happen, open up and experience it. Like, don't be shy from engage in it. Be open. Embrace it. Find out, why did this happen? And in the process, as you're finding out and figuring out why it happened, you'll begin to find solutions to how to counter that resistance, and you would move through it. Now, when you find your voice and you find your truth, I need you to guard it. I need you to fight for it. That's when your voice comes to play. One of the things I'm trying to fight myself right now is the fact that I'm trying to go back into our culture, the African culture, to find the principles in there in terms of leadership and service delivery and all of that we can harness to actually develop policies and principles and models for the service sector in a way that people can embrace or feel as a part of, because most of these principles and policies and theories that come to us in terms of service experience or service delivery, leadership skills and all of that are foreign to us. So it's hard for us to espouse them easily, So one of the things I'm working hard at is I'm finding out how to figure out within our culture the things that are unique to the way we lead, the way we provide service and things like that, and apply them in my line of teaching and guiding and coaching. So I am embracing my truth I want to embrace my truth in an organic manner, and in doing that I'm having a lot of how do I call it? Because I'm still in the middle of, I'm also learning every day as a coach with the John Maxwell team. And so I'm not just swallowing every principle I am fed. When I learn about certain leadership skills and principles, I try to make sure that based on our region, how do we do things? And so I will remodel them in a way that the client will feel akin to. The client will feel Yeah, that's how our fathers used to do it. That's how our fathers do it. That's how when I go home, I do it. You know what I mean? So that we feel a part of it. So it's easier for us to work with. Your voice, the world has to hear your voice. Your voice is meant to inspire the world around you. It's meant to inspire the people around you. It's meant for you to be able to fight through resistance, to fight through the roadblocks, to fight the thing that holds you back. Your voice would enable you conquer your own personal inner fears, and it would free you to live the amazingly unique self that you are. If you're a colorful butterfly like me, it would enable you to showcase that. I recall when I was in the financial sector and we were supposed to dress in all these gloomy dark colors. I was always fighting. I was figuring out how to make sure that a part of me stays colorful. You know, I'll put a little color in my hair. I'll make my makeup. You can see my makeup. My lips were always colorful. My nails were always colorful. I recall my boss would say, "Thelma, make your nails should be a little nude. You know, you are in the bank, this and this and that." But the point is, I didn't want that colorful person within me to ever be quenched. I don't want it to vanish. So I try to hold on in any small way that I can. So please find your voice. Find it and speak it so that it becomes, as you continue to speak it, it becomes louder and stronger and you become more confident in your uniqueness so that you embrace your beauty and your talent and your amazing self. That is what God created. That is what is supposed to make this garden of the earth so beautiful and brilliant. I hope I spoke to you today. I hope we are really, truly becoming more in every aspect of your life. I'm Naa Teiko on this journey with you to become more. Thank you for being with me. Have a good, amazing day and the week ahead. Thank you.